red carpets, velvet pillows, a throne. Top 10 messed up things spoiled princes did in history, part 2. Number 10, Prince Harry. Rotten, off with something familiar, Prince Harry. I feel like this man needs no introduction, especially if you were watching the news, say, around circa 10 years ago. The now married and humble prince was quite the partier back in the day. I'm sure our editors can find a safe for work image out there somewhere. A couple wild parties in beautiful Las Vegas had the royal family a little concerned, and when people say they're a little concerned, it means they're really concerned. At one party, he was stark naked. What? I know, right? It was weird. I kind of remember that actually. And another where he was wearing a certain uniform from a certain time in Germany that would raise a few hands and eyebrows. You know what I'm saying? Thank goodness he's cleaned up though. He's doing a lot better now, and he's married to the very beautiful Meghan Markle. Listen, Meghan, if it doesn't work out, you call me. You and I we'll make it happen. You and I, a great husband. I'll help. Number 9, Prince Edward VII. The spoiled prince's spoiled prince. He's a man who had everything just given to him. The poster boy for silver spoons. Being the son of Queen Victoria comes with benefits. The second Eduardo was born, he automatically became a prince, a duke, an earl of a couple of titles. In comparison, when I was born, it was a cold Canadian morning, and my family was watching through a glass screen at a brand new sweet babe. When one of my family members was holding a double-double said, "Why does he have 3 arms?" I'm just kidding, I don't have 3 arms. But the point I'm making is that I, like many others, simply weren't born into the good stuff. We had to do this thing called work. I know, right? It sucks. Edward lived a life of luxury until becoming king in the early 1900s. The only thing I've been king of is the playground. And that's just because I was big and I pushed everyone off. This isn't my slide. I don't think you get off. Number 8, Prince Charles. Alright, put your tinfoil hats on here, folks. We're going right into it. Okay, so Prince Charles, son of Elizabeth. It's the 1980s. Life is good. Ladies' formal wear has padded shoulders for some reason. Eddie Murphy is wearing red leather, and Milli Vanilli is an acceptable art form and not a fever dream of the past. Good times. So Prince Charles does the most 80s thing ever and marries the most beautiful princess ever to grace us mortals. I mean, come on, look at her. She was gorgeous. So it makes sense that you'd want to leave the most beautiful princess in the whole world after having 2 kids, right? Okay, but how? How do you leave Princess Diana? How about perhaps, maybe, kind of, sort of, might have been plausible that Prince Charles organized her car accident, which resulted in her passing. For him, Princess Diana was a warm-up. Oof. For others, she was an inspiration and a conversation starter for middle-aged women across the Midwest.
Do you remember where you were when Princess Diana passed away? I do. I was eating cheese at the kitchen table.
Number 7, George V. Honestly, this one could be number 1 on the list, but it's just so strange. Okay, so for those that don't know, George V, Nicholas II, and Wilhelm II were all cousins. Who were these royals I'm talking about? Well, these are the men who were in charge of their respected empires during the early 1910s. Why is George on this list? Well, in a nutshell, George and his cousins had the opportunity to de-escalate a very chaotic political situation in Europe. Old feuds were reignited by the assassination of Franz Ferdinand, and fingers were being pointed. Fingers quickly turned into guns, and hence, WW1 had started. Not a great situation to find yourself in. WW1 was kind of a bad one. Imagine your family having the power to stop a major global catastrophe and doing nothing. Nice! Number 6, the Czar. Being a prince turned king is hard. It's even harder to be a czar. I'd ask Nicholas II, but he ain't around anymore. Being a wealthy czar for a people that majority of don't have anywhere close to the same luxuries as the rest of Europe is even harder. There's a lot of things that can be said about the czar, especially his negligence for the Russian people. However, one event kind of sums up the whole thing. Imagine for a second if you were a poor Russian serf, working day and night for nothing, when all of a sudden a new czar says, "Come on down, folks, I know you're hungry, come enjoy some fresh hot pretzel and perhaps some beer." Since this was the best food a lot of people were going to have for a very long time, people rushed the grounds, and this stampede left over 1,000 people lifeless on the fairgrounds. The Tsar's response to his little strategic mistake? Party with the French royalty and not acknowledge his poor planning that had caused a major catastrophe. Oh, how many people? Hey, let's go party. Come, let's go. Hey. Number 5, Alexander the Great. The son of Philip II and heir to the Macedonian throne, Alexander was the star child, and while it's true it may have gone to his head, he did make it work for him. The spoiled prince became king at 20, which is very young in case you were wondering, and during his youth would create one of the largest empires the earth would ever see. He was undefeated in battle and likely one of, if not the best, military strategist of all time. More than 20 cities were founded in his name, including the great city of Alexandria in Egypt. I don't have any cities named after me, but I do have a cool nickname though. Do I want my own empire? Sure, why not? The Cheddar Empire sounds pretty sick. Nice, the Cheddar Empire, I like that. Do I want all the naughty war related stuff that he did? No, I don't want that. I don't like that. I'm thinking more like a comedy empire, stand-up tours, movies, and of course merchandise. That's how you know it's real, folks. You get quotable t-shirts, that's how you know it's real. Don't sniff your own farts, that's a good t-shirt. Some of you would wear that, I know you would. Number 4, Suliman the Magnificent. The prince turned sultan, Suliman the Magnificent of the Ottoman Empire, probably the most famous of all the sultans, and for having a really big hat. For real, that's a big boy. That's a big boy right there. No, he's actually known for taking the Ottoman Empire that was good and making it great, plunging it right into a golden era. Successful military campaigns and some law reforms made him stand out. Speaking of standing out, is his collection of ladies of the evening. This is the bad part, where it stated that he had 17 personal ladies to service the mighty royal in his time of need. Yes, this did produce offspring, and yes, this did make things confusing for who is next in line. Number 3, Mansa Musa. Nothing says spoiled like being the richest man of the ancient world, maybe even of all time actually. A royal who rose to power and exploited his nation's salt and gold mines, which in return made him quite wealthy. Net worth is estimated to be in the $400 billion range, but it could be a lot more, we're not sure. I don't know about you fine folks, but when I get some extra cash in my pocket, just itching to get out there, I go head down to the mall. Sure, mall culture isn't what it used to be from the 80s, but I gotta hit up the Gap, man. Good sales. But that's exactly what Mansa Musa did. However, he went to multiple cities, and when he went shopping in said cities, he spent so much money that he upset the economy of said city. That's just such a baller move, dude. Damn, alright. Okay. Number 2, William the Conqueror. The illegitimate child. A man who most likely would not take the throne since there were others in line. So what does William do? He says, no, right, I'm the Duke of Normandy. That's Scottish, but we're gonna go with it. I'm the Duke of Normandy. I don't have to take this. Thus began the Norman Conquest, and conquest William did. From the Battle of Hastings to all the other lovely things Williams did, he was the spoiled prince who didn't take no for an answer. What's the lesson in this one? See things through? Or being born into an intertwining European family is complicated. Sometimes swords can solve things. Number 1, Mohammed Bin Salem. Here's a modern prince for you, the crown prince of Saudi Arabia. There's a lot that can be said, but all that you basically gotta know is that the family, the royalty, is very rich. Arab oil rich. Sure, the British royal family is treated like kings and queens with servants and whatnot, but these guys, whew, they live every day like that, and it is for sure more luxurious than old Bly. Dude's got money, it's rich. I'd love to visit though, it looks like a cool place, I don't know. We'll see. That's gonna wrap it up for me today, guys. I've been your host, Big Chet. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe here at Bumblebee. There's lots of fun stuff going on. Check out our Facebook page too. There's all kinds of fun stuff, behind the scenes stuff. It's lots of fun. And if you too want to be a spoiled prince, then come check out my socials down below. I'm streaming this weekend, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Come hang out. And I'll see you guys soon. I love you. My sweet little honeybees. Bye. I love you. Stretch, just stretch. Oh, alright. Number 10, part Prince. Old feuds were reignited by the assassination.